Welcome, gang, to another episode of Joe's Comics Corner. I'm your host, Joe, and I've walked down walked down the street to a special corner, and found myself in the house of my good friend of the show, frequent guest, Richie Garofolo. So, Rich,
Welcome, Joe.
thank you, Rich, for welcoming me to your home. And before we start this episode, we got a little bit of um, technical precursor. We had trouble getting. I messed up great, and I sent Rich the invite and thought, okay, we're going to do that on his invite. But apparently, the invitee cannot inaugurate the broadcast, so it took us an hour plus to find out how to get back in and restart this. But we did it.
We pulled it
We,
off, but I was as guilty as anybody because I decided to uh, what do you call what,
update.
micros update. I decided to update my laptop an hour earlier and never checked to see what that was going to involve,
Right.
and that involved
Nobody,
nonsense.
nobody receiving Social Security should try to update any of their devices.
So,
That's the lesson we learned here today.
yeah,
People our age should not be doing this. But in any event, Rich came up with a great idea for a comics corner, and that was our favorite Silver Age artist from the Silver and Bronze Age. And if they trickle into the Modern Age, that's fine too. But we have a list of names. We're going to talk about artists that we're going to,
start with.
start with, and we'll see where that takes us. As usual with these things, we never know where we're going to go. Any trip to any corner, we wound up in the swamp once. We wound up in a swamp twice in these comic corners, right? So who knows where we're going to wind up? But here we go. So, Rich, why don't you start us off with your favorite artist from that era?
Oh, well, it starts with Kirby. Um, Although I have to say, it probably really started with Kurt Swan because I was a Superman fan first.
He's my
Um,
guy.
so, Kurt Swan, clean, nice pencils. Let me see. I made a note about something. Yeah, clean. I decided I was going to put one word descriptions.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Okay, so we'll see where it takes us or whatever. But Kurt Swan was my Superman growing up,
Yeah.
and yeah, there was Al Plastino, there was Wayne Boring,
John Forte,
John Forte,
right?
oh,
Jim Mooney.
Jim Mooney. Those guys didn't do it quite as often as
No.
the other three. Um, as far as I get, oh, and then you got Kurt.
Oh, Kurt Schaffenberger.
Yeah,
Lois Lane.
Lois Lane.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
love his art.
and I loved his Superman as well.
He didn't make my
Uh,
list. Damn.
yeah, I know. This is the list that goes on and on. Um, anyway, those were great, and I loved copying that artwork. And you know, Joe's here in my basement. We're
Yeah.
side by side. We're touching each other.
Yeah, we're sitting at the ping pong table, and
Yeah.
getting this episode to start was like a ping pong match,
Yeah,
technically. So it all comes together eventually.
yeah.
I wrote down. Richie was smarter than I because he's the artist here. I'm not, but he wrote down one word to describe the artist's work. I wrote down the artist, what these artists worked on. So when I think of Kurt Swan, I think of Superman, Legion of Superheroes, and Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
And he also did a lot of Lois Lane covers before, and some Lois Lane interiors before Kurt Schaffenberger was given the book entirely. But yeah, I didn't know as a 10-year-old about clean lines or anything like that. I didn't have the artistic eye, but I knew I liked what I saw. And I knew when Kurt Swan did a Superman story as a poet, why am I talking to the computer instead of talking to you?
We can face each other. And talk.
It's good thing this isn't on video. Anyway, Rich, I didn't understand why I liked Swan, but I knew when I saw Wayne Boring or Al Plastino, I knew I liked Swan better.
Yeah.
I guess it was just the way he drew, right?
Yeah. What can you say? We're not here to
I'm not here to put down. We're not here to put down Plastino and
no.
Wayne Boring either.
No. I would probably say out of the three, it was Kurt Swan, Plastino, and then Wayne Boring.
That's the way I would go to.
Okay. Boring had a very, very distinct characteristic to his guys that yeah, but he drew Golden Age Superman to match Schuster or what was
Siegel and Schuster, yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And but that's we were talking about this
Yeah.
earlier that a lot of artists, at least in the Golden Age, were they were hired to copy so you wouldn't know who was actually doing
because
the artwork.
it was a studio, right?
Bob Kane.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob Kane made sure that his name was on everything,
Everything.
and it was drawn in
His style.
his style.
Sheldon Moldorf drew in his style.
Yeah.
Lou Schwartz drew in his style. Dick Sprang, I think,
Yeah, Dick Sprang
was a lot better than all of them.
Oh yeah.
But it was similar, but it was a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's great that we started off with Kurt Swan because he's the guy, man. I mean,
Right.
but you mentioned Jack Kirby.
Well,
Let's
yeah.
talk about the King.
Okay, the King, Captain America, just sucked me right in. And my one-word description for Kirby is action.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's what he's all about. It's not what he's all about. I mean, he's
about a lot of things.
He's a lot of God. I mean, he was incredible.
He was a concept guy too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know and we'll never know the full story who created what vis-a-vis Lee and Kirby, but we know that there was a collaborative effort, and so if there's a Fantastic Four, if there's a Thor, if there's a Galactus and the Silver Surfer, we know Kirby was as much involved, if not more so, than Lee in the creation of those characters.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I put down Fantastic Four, Thor, Hulk, Avengers, X-Men. I forgot Captain America.
Oh,
so
what?
yeah, how can I do that, right? It's Rich's favorite character,
and he was co-creator.
Yeah, but Simon duh. Okay.
So I think, that bad move on your part.
Bad move, one demerit.
Okay. All right.
You want to pick next one?
No, go ahead.
All right. My next one is Carmine Infantino.
Yes.
Also started in the Golden Age, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like probably after the war, I think.
Yeah, probably a little after the war. Based on some of the books that I read and stuff, he was probably, but still late 40s and into the 50s. And he, too, his style
progressed. Oh, it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen his Golden Age stuff on his Black Canary and his Flash, and it's very nice, but it's not as dynamic as his Flash, Adam Strange, or even his Batman in the Silver Age. And when I think of Carmine Infantino, I think of the Flash.
Right.
I think
Me too.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how he was able to convey that sense of speed, not only with lines, but with multiple. What do you call that? Multiple figures? There's a term for that, right?
Animation.
After images, is that?
After images, okay. Yeah. Right, so, very good.
Once in a while, when my brain gets congested, an idea comes out. But I mean he was just, and then of course, Carmine Infantino became art director of DC and then publisher, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
the artist did get to grow.
Yeah.
But there were other issues with creation and artwork. At this time, we'll get to that with Neal Adams. But okay.
So before we move off of Carmine Infantino, we were speaking about this offline. I had read somewhere that Infantino did not like being inked by Murphy Anderson because he thought he was playing too much with his pencils. But who do you prefer inking Infantino, Giella or Murphy Anderson?
I don't care.
You don't care. Okay, well, I understand because I just want to see Carmine Infantino's art.
And to be honest with you, back then when I was reading them, they didn't tell us.
No, they didn't. That's right.
Okay.
It was in the late 60s that Gardner Fox book would give you credits.
Right.
Flash, Justice League, Green Lantern, Atom, Hawkman. But in a Wise Superman family book, it's up for grabs. You don't know. I mean, you knew after a while the styles, but you didn't know who was doing what or who was writing the stuff either. That used to make me crazy. So that's all right. So Carmine Infantino, who do you got next, Rich?
Well, I'm going to jump on. I'm going to jump onto yours.
Okay.
I like your list. And we have this very similar things. But Gil Kane, I think it just goes in with DC right now. So let's stick there. And Gil Kane, honestly, I like Gil Kane better when he went over to Marvel. Okay. That's me personally. I think his style changed slightly.
Oh yeah. His DC work is simpler, right? His Green Lantern, especially his Green Lantern.
And I think, and even his Atom. I think DC, whoever was in charge at the time, pulled in the reins on these guys, and I think when they made the switch to Marvel, it was more. the way Marvel did their comics were they discussed the story. They were they weren't given the detail of what was supposed to be in every panel. They were told the story, and then the artist was told, draw this story.
Bring
and
back
then
the 20 pages and then the writer.
Yep, and then the writer would fill in the balloons and stuff and write to the artist's work. I think is fantastic.
You as an artist would appreciate that, right?
Yes.
Because you get to be really a creator of the story, not just a guy who's just drawing the figures in the story.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's why these guys were able to they had the more freedom when they went to Marvel, and they were able to develop their style, you know, when they went there. They were still great with DC, but I personally liked them even better when they went to Marvel.
There are only a few issues of Spider-Man where John Romita Sr. inks Gil Kane, but those are some of the most incredible looking comic books of all time.
Absolutely.
And that's the death of Gwen Stacy, those 2 issues.
Yeah.
That's Romita inking Gil Kane, and it's just absolutely gorgeous work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, both of those guys are giants.
Giants, yeah.
Okay, and John Romita's on both of our lists.
Yeah, I don't know. He's too far down on my list.
He's number. Well, we didn't do this in any. I didn't do this in any specific order.
I just put the names on that came to my mind first, right?
But Romita, I absolutely loved his stuff. I don't know. He just strikes me as not that this is why I liked him. I didn't know about this. The romance comics.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like, you know, his women, and, you know, it looks like what's his name? Never mind.
Okay, well,
the pop art guy.
Andy Warhol?
Yeah, Andy Warhol. I mean, he did a giant comic strip with the girl going, you know, swooning over somebody. That looked like it could be John Romita's work.
He was probably copying John Romita, because that's what Andy Warhol did. He took a panel out of a comic book he liked or that spoke to him. He redrew it, and boom, it becomes a work of art. It's hanging. But Romita's work never hung in the Museum of Modern Art. But Andy Warhol, I think that's an inequity that should be corrected. When I think of John Romita Sr., I think of Spider-Man and Daredevil. And think about, and we'll get to Ditko later, I'm sure. Of course we will. Think about coming in after. How do you follow Steve Ditko?
Right, I know.
And yet he did. Yeah. And apparently the sales went up.
Ditko, okay, he's on my list. But Ditko, I've got him marked down as strange, unique.
Yeah, all Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, yeah. It just falls into place. I love it. I mean, I've got that production art of Hulk over there. I mean, I think that's gorgeous.
That's beautiful. This Hulk looks like a combination of the Frankenstein monster and professional wrestler.
But you know, I mean, he was unique, and I could understand sales going up though with Romita. Romita's were prettier pictures.
Well, prettier. I'm glad you said that, because the first time we see Mary Jane Watson, who I think is the prettiest comic book female character in the history of comic books, even prettier than Lois Lane. I know, not prettier than Terry Hatcher, but you know, we're talking about drawings here. Yeah. Face the Tiger, you just won the jackpot.
Yeah.
It's amazing. ASM 40 or 41. I'm not sure which one, but
there's no way Steve Ditko was gonna.
I thought his Gwen Stacy, because she had these things in her hair. I guess they were berets, clips.
Yeah, berets. Yeah.
I thought she had horns. And I never liked her because of that. And then when we got married, look at Peter dumped the blonde and go for the wild redhead, you jerk. She's a party girl. You'll have so much fun with her. You know, and then of course they kill off Gwen, and it's like I felt terrible about that.
It was all your fault.
It's my fault, yeah. But John Romita, and then he spawned a son who also did.
Yeah, I mean his work is incredible.
Yeah, right?
And his art just kept growing as he went on. I mean, I remember we had a I don't know, it was a game or something one of the times at the store, and I put up pictures and said, who's the artist? And I pulled up Romita Jr. In an early issue, and nobody got it.
His early stuff looked like his dad, right?
It's
Yeah.
a weak impression.
Yeah,
of his
yeah.
dad. But yeah, his style has totally changed. But I do like Junior.
Senior, when he got the assignment to do Spider-Man, he came off about a year's worth of Daredevil, and then he got the Spider-Man assignment. I read that he said that he was trying to draw Spider-Man like Ditko, and he wasn't feeling it. And then finally, with a confab with either Stan or some other artist, said, just be yourself. And he embraced his romance artist chops,
Yeah.
and that's again it worked, and the sales soared, and Spider-Man took over as the #1 selling Marvel comic. It passed the Fantastic Four, John Marino.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so
Live and learn.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
yeah, that's what we're all here. Right? So who do you got next?
Let's see. Okay. Well, who have you got next?
I got Neal Adams next.
Okay. Let's go to Neal Adams. Although he's
Late Silver Age, more bronze. That's
right.
true. Yes.
But and this is, we were talking offline again, and we both didn't like him at first.
As kids, we didn't get it.
Yeah. He was too realistic, or what? It's hard to say.
It's like looking at Picasso. Here I am today.
Wait a minute.
I still don't get Picasso. I get Monet and Manet and Degas, but I don't get Picasso. I'm sorry, I don't get them at all. I don't get him at all.
I wouldn't compare.
No,
Neal Adams
but I'm just saying, no, he's not Picasso-like. But I mean, it's like it's great art.
Yeah.
But it takes it a while to appreciate it.
Yeah.
And when I first saw his Superman covers, Superman looks like he went on a diet.
Yeah.
Is he malnourished? What's wrong? He's too skinny. But then when he hooks up with Denny O'Neil, Detective Comics 395, Secret of the Waiting Graves. First O'Neil, Adams confab. Changes DC. Brings back the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And they didn't do, I think they only did 10 or 12, 13 together.
Yeah.
O'Neil and Adams, but they're some of the greatest looking comic books of all time.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, he became my definitive Batman artist.
Yeah, I got him for Batman, Deadman, and X-Men. He did the X-Men before he came to DC.
That's right.
And that book, he left that book and it got canceled. Well, that's why they put him on that book, because that book was nosediving anyway. And they put this young artist on the book. He worked mostly with, I think, Roy Thomas. And a couple of issues, I think he worked with Denny O'Neil also.
Okay. But, so it closed. X-Men stopped at the end of his run.
The last issue was penciled by Sal Buscema.
Okay, all right.
It's a very nice looking issue, by the way.
Okay, and then just before him, then would have been
Werner Roth.
No, there was Barry.
Barry Smith. Oh, early Barry Smith was also an acquired taste.
Yeah. Oh God.
You think of Barry Smith, you think of Conan, which is gorgeous, but early Barry Smith was.
It was like a weak man's Kirby.
I didn't get it at all. Yeah, he was. I think he was trying Kirby and also Herb Trimpe.
Oh yeah, but Trimp, he's an acquired taste too. Yes. I'm sorry. He was an inker, really first before he was.
Yeah.
He was given the reins of Hulk. I mean, and he can get away with Hulk because who cares?
Well, I tell you,
ugliest.
When Trimpe was inked by Marie or John Severin, his Hulk looked really damn good.
Yeah.
So again, because those are two great artists.
Yeah.
But Neal Adams is a quiet taste. I didn't get him until
but we
years
both
later.
love him now.
Oh yeah, we think he's he's right up there with Jack Kirby and Carmine Infantino, of course. Yeah. I have Steve Ditko. Who do you have next? I have Steve Ditko next.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, Steve Ditko's up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Steve Ditko.
He was number 4 on my list. Not that he was number 4 on my list of all time, because like I said, I described him in my one word: strange/unique. And he had unique pencils, as we already alluded to a little earlier.
When I think of Steve Ditko, and I didn't think of this back then when I was a kid, obviously. Nice pictures. I like Swan. I like Swan over Boring. I like this guy. But I think Steve Ditko was the first guy I came to realize who was telling a story, because when you look at a page, you can extract the words from a Steve Ditko page, and you know exactly what the hell is going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hands down, I totally agree.
Great storyteller.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't know. It's a combination, but being the artist, being handed the script, and then producing what he produced made the writer's job a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay, where DC
and Lee needed a lot of help because he was doing a lot of books.
they were giving them the script and almost panel by panel description of what they wanted.
Yeah.
And you couldn't look at it without reading the words.
Exactly.
Okay, I mean a DC book, and but Ditko, he could tell a story, and the one with the machine on him when
Spider-Man 33.
Yeah, that is just all of
the first 4 pages are probably some of the best Spider-Man artwork ever, if not the best Spider-Man artwork ever. Yeah, and his Doctor Strange was strange and trippy, and he created these magical worlds, these other dimensions, and you really felt like. And from what I know about the man, no, he was not doing anything to enhance his abilities, like the guys that came in later on, late 60s and early 70s. He was a very straight shooter, but he just was able to tap into this other world. He had this wild imagination, and his Doctor Strange is incredible. I think our first show's Comics Corner was Doctor Strange Strange Tales 110 that James and I talked about, the first Doctor Strange story, all in 6 pages.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. These comics, they stretch them out now.
They really do. Who do you got next?
All right, John Buscema.
That's what I got.
Yeah. Okay. My single word adjective to him was power. Powerful. Yes. I mean, his Conan, Avengers. Okay, that Avengers comic. I don't
have Conan down for him. I got Avengers, Thor, and Silver Surfer, but not Conan. So I'm adding that right now.
So that's a John Buscema cover.
It's gorgeous.
Okay. This was probably one of the first covers that I copied. The style. The
cover Richie's talking about, folks, is X-Men 43, the Power Magneto. There's a giant Magneto in the middle, and there's the 5 original X-Men attacking him, and they don't look like they're doing too well.
But they're not looking defeated. They're on the attack. It was anyway. His artwork is powerful and
very powerful.
And I actually met his wife. I actually met John Buscema. Should we go there?
Yeah, tell us about
that. Okay. I went to the John Buscema school, comic book apprentice school in I think 1973, 1974, and 4 classes were taught by John, and then the next 4 classes were taught by John Romita Sr.
Wow.
And then followed with Marie Severin.
Wow, again.
Okay, so I mean, this school was the superstars were there.
The Beatles -1.
Yeah. And I've got some Marie Severin overlays that I showed Joe earlier.
Yeah, Richie's got corrections from Marie Severin. Can you imagine that, to be corrected by Marie? If you people are not familiar with Marie Severin's artwork, Google it, look it up. She was spectacular. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah, I've got her down as the Rock, because she fixed everything.
Yeah, that's what.
She was. From what I understood, she was the fixer. She did some of her own pencils on a number of comics, Hulk being one of them. But she was the fixer.
Yeah,
I probably should have used the fixer instead of the Rock, but I think she was solid. And
her brother was a spectacular artist.
Oh, yeah.
I just recently picked up volumes 1 and 2 of John Severin's Charlton Comics Billy the Kid.
Really?
It's 5 to 6, 7 page stories. The stories are kind of dumb, but the artwork is beautiful, and it's reproduced very well in these nice, very inexpensive color collections. And so again, if you're not familiar with the Severins, brother and sister, that's your assignment tonight, folks. If take anything out of this, look up Marie and John Severin.
Yeah.
They are
John,
so underappreciated.
John, it's incredible the detail that he put into his work.
When people talk about Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., we'll get to the guy who's most associated with that. Before that particular artist took over, it was Kirby, then it was Severin. And Severin did a lot of the covers too, John.
Yeah.
And then he worked with he did some Hulk, obviously. He did a a lot of war books over at
Yes.
DC.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I dated Sergeant Fury.
Sergeant Fury.
Wow.
He was kind of like the understudy to the Sergeant Fury artist, whom
Yeah.
we're going to get to also. So that's John Buscema, Marie and John Severin. And I want to say one thing about John Buscema. Silver Surfer number 4. I think you're familiar with the cover, Rich.
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
versus the Silver Surfer.
Yeah. I've got the statue.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that book was inked by his brother Sal. And I think it is the best illustrated comic book that I have ever seen.
It's incredible.
Absolutely. There's a scene of Mephisto sitting on his throne that is just, that should be in the Museum of Modern Art.
Yeah.
Push out the Warhol and the other guy, the other pop artist, and get the real, these were the real pop artists. These guys and girls. They should be on display somewhere. But
we were in Italy at a museum, and I don't know the damn name of the museum at the moment. Doesn't matter. There was artwork up there. I don't remember the artist. I did take a picture of it, and I've got it on my phone somewhere. I'm not going to go looking for it. I'll show it to you later.
No, if we touch another device, we can kill this thing.
Kurt Swan.
Really? In Italy?
But it's not Kurt Swan who did it. It's an artist doing a rendition of Kurt Swan. Huh?
Was it Kurt Swan? Is it a Superman Kurt Swan?
Yes, Superman Kurt Swan.
Wow.
All he's doing is just, he's standing there. You'll probably recognize the cover that it was stolen off of.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
And it's in a museum. I probably
have the book.
Kurt Swan's not in a museum.
Well, Kurt, see that? Well, no, all kidding aside, and for a serious moment here, European people respect comic books a hell of a lot more than we do here in America. They don't see it as popular art. They see it as art. And they've always, they've always elevated it where, here up until maybe within, the last 20 years, it was just something that was at the counter in the candy store or the Save Mart to be picked up by a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's...
it was affordable back then.
Yeah. Well,
we won't go there.
12 cents, right, Rich?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. We did...
Wow, with one artist, we came up with like 5 different people there.
Yeah, that's right. I know. Let's just try to stay more in a chronological kind of thing. Okay. I'm going to go back. Gene Colan.
Oh, I got him. Gene Colan, Iron Man, Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Submariner.
Fantastic artwork. I mean, what Shadows.
And Batman when he came to DC.
Yeah.
I forgot that. Yeah. Write this down.
But it's, his, and Dracula.
And Tomb of Dracula.
Oh, and Howard the Duck.
Oh, my God.
Okay, I mean, but he was...
Yeah.
He was more realistic-ish.
He was very stylized, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of shadow.
A lot of shadow. Moody.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't have a long run on Doctor Strange. He took over when Ditko left. No, that's not exactly true. There was Marie Severin in there, and I think someone else. But he had to run on the book when the book became Doctor Strange, more or less. Dan Atkins had left, and then he took over with Roy Thomas, and they did some really trippy stuff. And then the sales tanked, and then there was a few years without Doctor Strange. But it's worth looking at. Yeah. Oh, I read somewhere that by the time he got to DC, when he was doing Batman, that he didn't model or do underdrawings, and that his figures sometimes looked like they were half done. Do you get that? I think that's...
I don't remember.
Somebody trying to just, talk smack about him. I don't know.
Right. There's no reason to talk smack about it. No.
Okay.
I like that.
Gene Colan, yeah.
Yeah.
Who had a pseudonym, Adam Austin. When he came to, and Gene Colan did a lot of romance books too.
He was Adam Austin.
He was Adam Austin, yeah.
Oh,
those Iron Man issues in Tales of Suspense. Adam Austin, that's Gene Colan. Oh well, Mike Esposito was Mickey DeMeo.
Okay.
A lot of these guys had pseudonyms, but Gene Colan, like John Romita Sr., like John Buscema. Did a lot of romance comics. And Colan worked for DC romance books back in the day, and also did westerns.
Right.
Let's not forget the westerns. Yeah. What do you got? Richie's looking around his room here.
I'm looking around the room, and we'll go back to that.
Okay, all right.
There's a, it just indicates all these characters are ones that I liked and would duplicate.
There you go.
I mean, they're all over there.
I got Murphy Anderson next. Want to talk about
Okay,
Murphy?
sure.
Murphy Anderson. Most people think of him as an inker, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Murphy Anderson had a 20+ issue run on the volume 1 of Hawkman. Murphy Anderson did the Atomic Knights.
Right.
Oh, I forget which mystery book that was in, sci-fi book. It was either Mystery in Space or the other one. Can't think of it now. But great.
Strange Adventures.
Strange Adventures. Thank you. But I think most people know Murphy Anderson when he started inking first on the covers in the late 60s, inking Kurt Swan Superman books. And then DC got the idea to put him on the interior with Kurt Swan. And for 3 years, you have some of the most beautiful Superman work you've ever seen.
Yeah.
They even combined their names to Swanderson.
Oh, did
yeah,
they?
Yeah, and that's how you used to be referred to. And tell me if I'm wrong, because you're the artist here, I'm not. But his inking was probably done more with a brush, right? When you look
say
at,
so.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And it had this very light, airy look to it, but I think it also enhanced the artwork, and it just made it look, I don't know, it was very bright. I loved his work, his inking on Kurt Swan, and it's just some of my favorite, if not my favorite Superman artwork of all time, Swan and Anderson. Yeah.
Can't argue with you.
Great artist.
Yeah.
And a lot of these artists and inkers, Dick Giordano, who's noted as an inker, did a lot of artwork before that. He was also an editor. He was EIC of DC at one point. So just because a guy's an inker doesn't mean that he or she isn't a good artist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So who do you got next?
Nick Cardy.
Oh, all right, Nick Cardy. Okay. Yes.
And he's. Where the hell is he?
Okay.
Here he is. Okay.
Aquaman and the Teen Titans. And
yeah.
To say the least, yeah.
Enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's my word for his art. Okay. He to me, it was fun. I mean, Teen Titans, Batlash.
Yep, Batlash.
You open
Teen Titans comic book and the Batlash comic book here.
Okay, I mean,
the expressions on the faces are great. Look at this guy scowling.
Yeah.
If you folks are familiar with what's his name now? His last name is McGuire. Keith Tarnowski would know his first name, but Keith knows who I'm talking about because he did Justice League International and that artist, and he was known for his expressions.
Kevin
McGuire,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
When I think of artists who are known for their expressions, I think of Kevin McGuire, Kurt Swan, and Nick Cardy.
Yeah.
You could tell what the character was thinking without the word boom by just looking at their face.
Right.
Yeah.
And so in Batlash, the story and the art was by Nick Cardy. No inker.
I didn't know that. He must have been the creator of the book too then. There was only like 7 or 8 issues, right?
Yeah.
I think there was a showcase issue also.
There has.
I need to add those to my. I only have 2. I don't have that one though.
But you don't have?
No, that one I don't have.
Oh,
I got to add them to my collection because I'm into reading westerns now, big time.
And Batlash, my favorite western.
And it's Aquaman.
Mira. You talk about redhead.
Oh yeah, that's
She was one of she's a close second to Mary Jane in my book.
I will agree with that. Yes, okay. Aquaman number 11. I think was her first appearance. She comes from the water world dimension of Zebel. Cebel. Zebel.
And I don't remember that. And I don't remember that stuff. But thank goodness.
That was for Steve. That was for Steve Perel. The Zebel reference. Hey Steve, how you doing? I'm gonna turn my page over. Let's see. How about we want to talk about this guy?
Sure.
Yeah.
Joe Kubert.
Before we move on to Kubert, Carmine Infantino was once quoted as saying, and I saw this on a YouTube video when he was interviewed about 20 some odd years ago. He thinks that the best artist in comic book history is Nick Cardy.
Oh yeah.
And then the man we're about to talk about is probably like, if Cardy's one, the man we're about to talk about is 1A. And I would not have to disagree with him because this man, Joe Kubert, wow, what a body of work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from the Golden Age on through.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
have you seen his Golden Age Hawkman?
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then his Brave and the Bold Hawkmans are 6 of the most beautiful comic books ever produced. And obviously he's the war artist. The war.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sergeant Rock, and just
No.
now. I when I was a kid, I didn't like Joe Kubert. Well, I didn't read war comics, but then you'd see him on covers, like on Justice League and Superman. What the hell is who's this guy? And once in a while, they'd throw him into he did some detective comics called where he drew Batman.
Yeah, he drew Batman.
And I liked Carmen Infantino. I didn't want him. I didn't get him, and I thought his work looked unfinished to me.
Yeah, he's very sketchy.
Yeah.
And he probably does his own inks.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. Yeah. I can't ever remember anybody inking him.
No, and personally, I liked his earlier work more, but he's like Neal Adams grew on us. Yep. Joe Kubert grew on us, and I was like, bad boy.
He's in my top 3 of all time right now. It's Kirby, probably Swan and Kubert. Those are my guys. He's like fine wine. He gets better with age. He's just an amazing, and of course he signed 2 pretty good artists himself. His two sons, Andy and Adam, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Those guys are
very good also.
Excellent.
But yes, Joe Kubert is an amazing artist, storyteller. What's his graphic novel? Notes from Sarajevo. Did he do that?
I think so. Yeah.
And he did a couple. He did some other ones also. Just an incredible storyteller also. Yeah. So Joe Kubert. All right. Who do we have next week? Who do you got?
Ross and Esposito.
I love them.
Put them in a combo. I mean, to me that was
Ross Andrew and Mike Esposito. Again, I didn't like them at the beginning, and we talked about this off camera, off whatever. When Infantino left the Flash to become art director of DC, they put Ross Andrew and Mike Esposito on the book, and they're like, what? The Flash just gained 50 pounds in between issues. He's too fat to run like that. He can't. And I didn't get it back then, but I discovered his Wonder Woman work, and I was reading Brave and the Bold when he was doing all those team ups.
Right.
And then I discovered, I think, his best work, The Metal Men.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. And he was no slouch with Amazing Spider-Man either.
He had I think he had a 5-year run on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Longer than Gil Kane.
Yeah.
Uninterrupted, by the way. Maybe there was an issue here that somebody else. Yeah. And also tons of Westerns. I've seen some of his Western work recently, and a lot of war books. Specifically, The War That Time Forgot.
Oh
yeah. The series with all the dinosaurs and everything.
Oh yeah.
That's all Ross Andrew and Mike Esposito.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, what great stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, just he had a way. I read somewhere, and again, I'm not the artist here, so I have trouble explaining this, but he had a way of drawing you into a panel with the background and with. He was great with foreshortening, right?
Oh yeah. That was his. Especially Spider-Man, you could when he went to DC, he could let himself go even a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, the composition of the pages.
Oh, beautiful!
Were
I'm thinking of a page in Spider-Man where Spider-Man is swinging over. I think it's the Museum of Modern Art. Interesting, but he would go there and sketch these things in real time and then put them into the comics. So, if you remember, he was the guy who was picked to do the artwork on the first Marvel DC, the second one actually.
That's what's exactly in my
Spider-Man
head right
now. versus Spider-Man, and they got Dick Giordano to ink him. It's gorgeous. And everything in New York, they're fighting in Columbus Circle, and I know what that is.
Yeah.
Everything is real. It's like you're drawn in because not only from the artwork, but he's referencing real objects in the city at the time.
Yeah. It was that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite books.
It's great.
Oh, well, since we're on the Treasury Edition size stuff, Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Oh, we didn't talk about that with the Neal. Oh, my God. Also inked by Dick Giordano. What an incredible book. I read that recently, I'm going to say back in the late spring, and it's an amazing book. And obviously, well, how could Superman get in the ring with Muhammad Ali? Well, Superman doesn't have his superpowers when he does.
Right.
But there's an alien invasion looming, and it's just a great book.
Oh yeah. Who we got next?
Well, I've got some other people. We did Gene Colan.
Well, we both have Don Heck.
Okay, Don Heck. I think people don't give him enough credit.
No, I don't think so.
Avengers, either. Iron Man.
He went over and did some JLA.
And this, Keith, you would know this. He did the Flash, right? Yeah, he did the Flash.
He did some Flash as well.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I would his style, and he also maybe it's a little stilted at times, but if you look at his work when the Avengers, because he has to follow Kirby again.
Right.
Ramita's got to follow Ditko. He's got to follow Kirby. There are 3 or 4 issues in a row where he's inked by Wally Wood, who might be the greatest inker and one of the greatest artists of all time, but definitely one of the greatest inkers. And you see Don Heck inked by Wally Wood, and you go, your tongue hangs out. It's fantastic. Yeah. So,
Well, that's Wally Wood, who's on your list too.
Yeah, he's on my list. Yeah, Wally Wood.
And he would have been on my list if I thought of it.
Well, I didn't.
It's so hard to.
Yeah, I got 22 on this list. And I'm sure I left somebody off that shouldn't be left off. But yes, Don Heck did the Avengers for a long time. He did a great run on Iron Man. Don Heck introduced us not only to in his Iron Man run, he introduced us to the Black Widow, Hawkeye, the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Probably the Crimson Dynamo and Titanium Man.
Oh yeah.
Probably,
sure.
yeah. So some of the key characters in Marvel history were penciled by Don Heck. Also a great Western artist too. That I've just recently discovered.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Neither one of us were really into westerns.
No, and I could kick myself for that. I really could.
Although I started hanging on there when Marvel started doing Rawhide Kid in the early 70s.
Yeah, those were mostly reprints, right? Yeah. I've been buying those recently because they're very cheap and they're fun to read.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, we still have more, folks. Don't go away.
Yeah, go ahead. We're going to go with yours.
How about this guy?
Oh, Steranko. Oh, now, stylish.
Unlike early Barry Smith, Steranko didn't take time to warm up to. He comes out of the gate.
Yeah.
Like freaking Secretariat, man. Wow. Nick Fury, that's the first thing that comes to mind, right?
Yep. Well, and then Case Captain America.
And it's Captain America. Oh, they only did 3 issues, but those.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the issue, I think it's 113, where Cap and quote unquote Bucky, who's really Rick Jones, are about to be attacked by the Hulk, who's coming around the corner of a building.
Yes. Yeah.
That's scary as all hell, man. How Cap and Bucky are going against the Hulk? Then they're going to be turned into mush. Wow. Yes.
But and Nick Fury, I mean, that was just like real secret agent stuff.
Secret agent. Very what's the word I'm looking for? 60s word. I don't want to say trippy. It wasn't trippy like like Ditko Strange, but it was very not avant-garde. No.
Pop art.
Yeah. I mean and there's so many splash pages, not right in the middle of the story.
Yeah.
Just where you don't think you get a splash page.
But I loved it.
Yeah, it's great. Fantastic. And a lot of those stories he also wrote. So he was writing, penciling, and inking.
But he had such a short.
He could have done more than 20 issues. Then he did the first maybe 10 issues of the Nick Fury book. It only lasted 16 issues. But
he disappeared. I mean,
he started doing histories of comic books and things like that.
I got those too.
I have those. I think he made a comeback, but
I think
not a big one. And you know what? I just thought of another artist who's not on my list because I always link Jim Starlin with Jim Steranko. So I'm going to write down Jim Starlin. If we have time, we'll get to him too, because that would be for Arco. Of course, Arco is the cosmic guy, and Jim Starlin is the Marvel cosmic artist of all time. So but Jim Steranko was just. I have a copy of one of his early history of comics that's signed by him.
Oh yeah.
It probably signed to my first convention, I think in 1971.
Nice.
The one you didn't make because maybe the card.
Yeah, I was on the way back.
You're on the way back. Okay, you're on the way back.
Oh yeah, I made the.
Well, I took the subway. Hey, I wasn't driving in 71. I wasn't old enough.
Yeah, I'm the old guy here.
I didn't think I hit my 16th birthday yet when I went to that convention. So Jim Steranko. Who do you got?
I'm looking at your list now. Yeah. Because you're more on board.
Want to talk about Wally Wood?
Definitely Wally Wood.
We always think of Wally as an inker, but I recently discovered his EC work.
Yeah.
Horror and sci-fi. It's amazing. And you talk about detail?
Yeah.
Oh my God. This man was the king of detail.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. His women were beautiful. His guys were beautiful.
Everything. I am down for Daredevil and Thunder Agents, but yeah.
Right. I love this Daredevil run. There was something else that he had.
Well, remember this when Daredevil first wore his iconic red costume. That was Wally Wood.
Yeah.
It's a Wally Wood issue.
But again, he wasn't around enough for me.
Yeah, he's before our time. He's most of his work was done in the 50s.
Yeah.
With not with DC or
it was with EC
Atlas. It was
or what?
EC and maybe some smaller press publishers. But you know, if you're looking for folks, if you're looking for great sci-fi art, that's the man. Find his EC. Find what was it? I guess Weird Science was the EC book that probably Weird Science. Yeah.
I'll take your word.
Gorgeous artwork. Okay, let me just turn this over.
Whoa, no.
Oh, okay.
Bob Brown.
I
was thinking of him. I didn't put him on the list, but I was thinking of him. I loved his
He's underrated too, right?
Yeah.
Again, he's got to follow Jack Kirby on the Challenge of the Unknown. Word to the wise here, folks. If you can get a hold of one of the, I think it's either volume 1 or 2. Probably crosses over between both, but the archives of Challenge of the Unknown, volume 1 and 2, you will see Jack Kirby inked by Wally Wood.
Oh, right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unfreaking believable. But yes, then Bob Brown takes over. Wow, his challenges was great.
It was terrific. And
he inked his own stuff, right?
I think so. I didn't see credits. And then he did some Batman.
Batman in the late Silver Age, yes.
Didn't he did what he did something else.
Okay, he did Daredevil. Yes. Run on Daredevil.
Yes.
There you go.
You got it out faster than I did.
Okay, yes. Yeah, nice run on Daredevil with Steve Gerber, who was writing the book at the time, or Gerber, one of the most underrated comic book writers of all time. But yes, Bob Brown is. I liked him when he was inked by Dick Giordano too.
Or anybody did.
Yeah.
Okay, he made anybody's artwork,
including this man. Dick Dillon,
yes,
who had a tremendously long run on Justice.
He had a long run. I wouldn't have put him on my list unless he was inked by. Okay, but he had a long run. He was good. He wasn't on. He wouldn't have been in my top 20 or whatever.
He was better when he was on Black Hawk, and he was inked by Chuck Trudera.
I'll take your word on that one.
Yeah,
I did. That's strange that I did like him on Black Hawk
because he had a better inker.
And I wasn't as big a fan on
Justice League, unless he was inked by. There was a run of I'd say about 10 issues where Len Wein was writing the book, right after issue 100, where he was inked by Dick Giordano, and it's what I remember. Name dropping here. I saw Len at a convention early 70s, and I said, Len, is Dylan just doing the breakdowns and is Dick Giordano finishing? He goes, no, Joe. That's Dick Dillon. See what happens when you give him a good inker?
Oh, yeah.
And he said, don't repeat that. You know? but yes, so sometimes I hate to use this word mediocre because all these people are incredibly talented.
Yes.
But somebody who's not Kirby or Kubert, when you give them a great inker, like who's also a great artist, like Dick Giordano, it elevates their work. Yeah. So Dick Dillon, And how about this guy? Irv Novick.
Yeah.
Black Hawks again.
Yeah.
Batman. Now, Irv, people think of the late 60s and Bronze Age as Adams, and we said before Adams only did maybe 13 Batman stories, a lot of Batman covers. Most of the heavy lifting was done by Irv Novick.
Yeah, inside the book. Yep.
Inked by Dick Giordano.
Yeah.
So, and Irv Novick was around for a long time. I think he started in the 40s. I could be wrong, but I'm sure he did. I know he did a lot of westerns in the 50s. He did a ton of Black Hawk, but I think we remember for Batman. Yeah, great Batman artist. So
good one. I'm glad you put that down.
Okay. We got one. Here we go. Alex Toth.
Yeah.
Now, again, I didn't get Alex Toth as a kid. I didn't understand what was going on. I probably didn't read much of it because a DC War and Westerns, Eclipso in House of Secrets. I think it was House of Secrets.
Yes.
But I didn't get that. And again, here's me struggling with artistic terms. But when I think of Toth, he's the guy I think of Light and Shadow. more than anything else. And I'm thinking of he did 2 issues of Rip Hunt the Time Master. I had to get them recently from mycomicshop.com. They're gorgeous. There's this one splash page where they're running down a market, I think in ancient Cairo. The Time Master traveled through time. Yeah. And they're running down a market, and he doesn't leave anything out. They're knocking over carts. They're running over a cobblestone road, and you can actually see the cracks in the cobblestones. But the composition is so incredible. It's just, guy blew me away. It was a quiet taste, but now, if I see a book that he penciled, I try to get that book. As much as I like him.
Yeah, he did a 4-issue run with Black Canary.
In the back of Adventure Comics?
No, it was a mini series.
Okay, now
you're gonna have to find that.
All right, I'm writing this down. Black Canary. I thought I had all the Black Canary comic books.
I'd pull it out, but I sold it.
Well, I mean, let's not get into what I saw, please. Giant Size X-Men #1.
Oh,
Avengers 1 and 4. Back in the day. When I had the comic books. We're not going to get that.
No.
This is a happy, upbeat broadcast. We're not going to get that. So is there anybody left? Well, how about Jim Starlin? I don't think he's not nuts. He's Bronze Age, right?
Well, yeah, but he's Bronze Age. I'm not a big fan.
Okay, why?
I think he's. I find him stiff. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you. It's just a thing. It's just a feel. I'm not a big fan.
Arco just fell off his chair.
I know. Believe me, when I heard him, I mean, the story doesn't take anything away from the comic and the story. I enjoy.
He wrote a lot of those books too, by the way.
And fantastic. No problem with it. He's just not my favorite.
Okay.
When it comes to the artwork,
sure.
That's all. I mean, I don't know, everybody on this list, he would be the last one on the list.
Well, you know what? I added him as the last one. But
so
I do like him, and I think if you want to see him at his best, you have to catch him at the end of the whole Warlock saga.
Right.
He keeps getting better and better. And then there are 2 annuals. Oh, there's a Marvel team-up annual, and there's an Avengers annual. And I wish Arco was here because he could tell us exactly the numbers and what. But they're gorgeous books. I have a Warlock edition collection at home. They call them now gallery editions.
Right.
They're oversized books, like almost the size of a page you would draw on.
Right. Oh, really?
And I have the Warlock. It's all Jim Starlin. It has those 2 annuals in it. I think it's gorgeous, but okay. Well, let's not end on a. Let's try to. Who is there? Anybody we've missed? Let's see. Anybody on your list? Because I think I checked off all of mine.
I'm not sure. I mean,
did we talk about Jim Aparo? Who took over for Jim?
We didn't talk about.
He's the guy that takes over in the late '60s, so this is Silver Age.
Right.
Cardi leaves Aquaman. I'm going to say.
Right. Yeah.
And Aparo comes in, and the first few issues, he makes the mistake of what Bermuda Senior did, taking over for Ditko. He's trying to, and if you look at, it's the long story, the search for Mira. It lasted a year and a half because the book was bi-monthly, and his Aquaman is bulky, and it's not anywhere near as graceful as Nick Cardy's. But then he develops his own style, and he decides, I guess, I don't know. Maybe it was his decision or editorial. He's Aquaman. Make him look like a swimmer.
Right.
And he does.
Yeah, and he does. I was going to say he's not bulky. He's smooth. He's
yes.
I don't know.
You can see him moving through the waves.
Yeah.
And that's the search for Mira. It's what this story precedes the Kree Skrull War. I think it's the first long form story in comic. That's not true. The Monster Society Evil in the 1940s with Captain Marvel is the first 22 issues, something like that. But for DC and Marvel, this is one of the first long-form stories, The Search for Mira, written by Steve Skates and beautifully illustrated by Jim Aparo. And then, of course, Aparo becomes, I've heard people say this, who's your Batman artist? I always say it's Neal Adams. We could say it's Irv Novick, but a lot of people say it's
Jim Aparo. Oh, yeah.
I
would not argue that at all. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would say he's probably drawn
More Batman than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
You know, I mean, because Brave and Bold, he did Brave and Bold artwork.
He did, and in the 80s he did Batman.
And I'm just saying, in addition to, yes, definitely Batman. No,
he even had a run on Green Arrow. The Green Arrow book, that was the mature audience book. When Mike Grell leaves, they bring in Jim Aparo.
I was in my interim gap time.
Oh, that's when you were not reading? Okay, yeah. I only had one gap. That was around when DC went from their infamous New 52 to the more infamous DCU around 2014-15. I didn't get it. I dropped everything but Justice League of America. Justice League because it was Jeff Johns and God, who was the artist? Help me, Keith. I kept reading that, but yeah.
Oh wow.
That's my only.
Yeah, my gap was like a little after Adrian was born. So
is it in the years your gap?
It was at 19. I'm going to say 80 to 1985.
Wow.
I stopped in a Pathmark store and there was John Byrne.
Oh, see, I was going to ask about. Can I see that Sergeant Rock, by the way, please?
What's that?
You said Sergeant Rock. Okay, I just wanted to.
And then
what a great cover.
See, I pulled this out.
I remember that. I bought this as a kid off the newsstand. What year is that, Rich?
This is...
Okay, folks, you ready for this? Listen to this.
1969.
Yep, I bought it. 25 cents.
Yep. And
I was either 13 or 14, depending on when it came out.
All Kubert work.
Beautiful.
And yeah. Ooh. But John Byrne, I saw John Byrne did Superman, the Man of Steel.
Here's somebody we forgot. Russ
Yes,
Heath.
that was the other reason why I kept that out.
I interrupted your John Byrne story, so go ahead.
No. It's just when I saw John Byrne on the stand in Pathmark, I picked it up and right back into comics. That was it. It was beautiful.
Well, that's why they put John Byrne on the Man of Steel, because they wanted to get people back into comics. And look at this Lois Lane.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dick Giordano.
Yep.
Thanks. Okay.
And a friend that I worked with at Barnes & Noble for a few years, we did an interview with him recently, Keith Williams.
Yes.
Started doing the backgroundings when this book graduated to Superman. Yeah, and also Action Comics. So my buddy Keith Williams worked for John Byrne. Yeah, that's my favorite origin of Superman.
Oh yeah, hands down.
And Rich handed me a copy of Our Army at War number 273 from October 74, and opened it up and I realized, oh my God, we forgot to talk about Russ Heath.
Russ Heath, is it?
Great war artist, Sea Devils.
Yes. Oh, beautiful, almost realistic-ish.
Yep. Yeah.
By comparison, I mean
I always kind of conflate him with Severin, John Severin.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
They're both. But amazing stuff. Yeah. I'm glad I write this down. Russ Heath. How could I forget him? Holy crap! All right. So there you go. So I think we hit it.
I think we did. Now, just to show you, not making this stuff up.
We are broadcasting from the Richie Garofalo Comic Art Museum, by the way, folks. And Richie is bringing something up over.
All right. So
incredible.
All right. This is all
your work.
Yeah. Yes, I copied panels from comics.
Let me guess the artist.
Okay. Now this is it's a collage of comic panels, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different panels.
Okay. All right. The Hawkman in the top left corner, that's Joe Kubert.
Yeah.
I don't know who these two are here. They're the blonde and the little kid. But that's Batlash.
Yes.
That's Nick Cardy.
Yes.
And on the top right, that's Carmine Infantino's Golden Age Flash with the colander on his head. Mom used to put drain the macaroni. Right. And then he's got I thought when I first saw that, I thought that was Adam Austin, aka Gene Colan. That's the best thing on the page. I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is a great homage to a great artist. And then we've got Scott and Gene. Not Werner Roth.
I think so.
Yeah, okay, Werner Roth. Okay, yeah, so. Okay, yeah. Definitely Werner Roth. Yeah, okay, yes. Then we've got a Mac Ray Boy. Is that Mac Ray Boy's
I don't remember.
Okay,
Wonder Boy.
Captain Marvel Jr.
Captain Marvel Jr. Wonder Boy.
And
Captain
is that a
Marvel.
Bob Brown Warlock?
I'm going to say that's Gil Kane.
Gil Kane. Okay. Oh, that's right. Because Kane did the first two issues of the Marvel premiere, and then maybe the first 2 issues of the regular book, and then Brown took over, and then later on the guy you didn't like took over. So there's Black Canary,
and
well, that's
Alex Toth.
That's Alex Toth. Oh, I guess I can tell by the
cleavage.
The cleavage, and but the way you blocked it out, right? Okay, yeah. And of course that is an artist we didn't talk about, and that is the great. And why am I drawing a blank? The Spirit, Will Eisner.
Yes.
Wow.
So, anyway, yeah. So that's all on one poster.
These things are going to be on our Instagram page, folks. Rich will take
some pictures.
I'll send to James. I'll take some pictures of stuff of the comic books I talked about. We could like blow the whole thing up, the Instagram account. But poor James, look out, James, you're going to get a lot of stuff. But amazing. It's just, I love talking about these great artists because, that's part of our childhood, really.
Yeah,
in our early adulthood.
They inspired me to draw. Joe can see.
Yes, there's incredible stuff around this
Kirby. Yep, they're all Kirby.
A lot of Kirby folks.
Except for the collage, and that's when I get the best of all the world.
I think it's fitting if we end with Jack Kirby. We talked about it at the beginning, but Kirby started, as you pointed out to me, because I forgot that he was the co-creator of Captain America with Joe Simon, another great writer and artist also.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
But is it fair to say that Jack Kirby basically created the what's the word, iconography or the language of comic books? Back in the day. Because I've looked at a lot of Golden Age comic books, and Mac Rayboy was great, and obviously Will Eisner was great, and Lou Fine.
Right. Yeah.
But then you see other guys, Bob Kane, and even Siegel and even Jerry Siegel. But you see Jack Kirby at the beginning of this all with these dynamic pages, right?
And wasn't he one of the first with the splash page?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure he was. But
I think when you open up Captain America #1, this is splash page, right? Pretty sure. Yeah. So yes.
No, incredible Kirby. There's no getting around it. The imagination, talent.
It's probably fair to say that if Marvel had started up when Atlas becomes Marvel in 1961 and they get this idea for Fantastic Four, if Lee didn't have Kirby,
forget it.
Doing that,
there may be no Marvel.
There'd probably be no Marvel comics today. And there would have been no MCU, and all those billions of dollars that were made over the past 15 years wouldn't happen, because he is, there was two kings. There was Elvis, and there's Jack Kirby. Yeah, I don't think there's much. And I've run across a few people in my lifetime who do not like Kirby.
It's
your first inclination is like hold off and but and hit him, but then
that's the Brooklyn boy.
That's the Brooklyn in me. But then like you said, well, okay, tell me why. He probably wasn't. I mean, his anatomy is different from most anybody's, right?
Yeah, and his style changed over the years.
Yes,
I mean, Cap was lean and lanky in the beginning, and be more boxy. Yes, his style changed as he was getting older and whatnot, but nobody could tell a story like he could.
And we'd be remiss. We were talking about Kirby, and don't mention when he left Marvel and came to DC in his fourth world.
Right.
And from that we get Darkseid, New Genesis, Apocalypse. I mean, Mr. Miracle, the Demon, the New Gods. I mean, they're just incredible. And the man was so profoundly creative, prolifically creative, and profound too. But yeah, he was incredible. So I guess we're going to wrap it up here.
Yep.
It's been an hour. Oh, it's a tidy hour and 5 minutes. Didn't think we'd get here today, folks, with all the problems we had beforehand, because Joe couldn't remember the damn password. But thank you, James, for helping us out.
Yeah.
Once again, it's like a double up the gap in the bottom of the ninth to win the ball game. So you can find us, folks, on Instagram and something else.
I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on anything.
Facebook. Oh, Facebook. Thanks, Rich.
Facebook. That's
and
right.
we appreciate your comments. You know we love you. We appreciate your patronage of this broadcast and this what the hell is this podcast? Yes. And Rich and I love doing these things, and this is a hoot doing this together, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hand in hand.
Yeah, we did it. Yes, we did it. So thanks again, and there's going to be more of these in the future. I guess at some point we have to talk about the writers, right, of the Silver Age.
Yep.
So get those comments in, questions. I know you got a lot, Steve Perel, so don't disappoint me. So take care, everybody, and be well.
Take care.